All right, just Halloween just passed, and Halloween used to be, trick or treats, and so, when people just get to expect the tricks, the treats now, and they don't expect any tricks. But back in the day, my father would tell me about tipping over outhouses or reassembling wagons on the top of roofs. And, I think when I was a kid, I used to pull a lot of pranks. But, as an adult, you realize, the shit's gonna happen to you anyway, don't invite it, so... Because it always backfires on you. So anyway, I just thought I'd talk about some pranks of the years. These aren't all the pranks. And when I was in grade school, I went to the school and it was over 100 years old and they were getting ready to shut the school down. And it was the last year of the school, and so the fire alarm was getting pulled all the time. Kids were going out of the class. And so it was back in the day when they used to have a glass bar below the fire alarm. And you pull the fire alarm down and break this glass bar, and I guess they figured, well, that's kind of stupid, it's broken glass. And so I was sitting out there, and there was this kid, and I said, hey, why don't you pull that fire alarm? There's no glass in there, I won't do anything. So he pulls the alarm, the bell starts ringing, all the kids started going out of the classes with the teachers, going down the stairs, going outside, and we just decided, well, we better kind of go with the flow. And so we ended up wandering outside, and his Mormon guilt got to him, and so he went and told the teacher, who yelled at him, and I got implicated, and we ended up to the principal's office, and it didn't turn out too well. And so then when I got to junior high, we kind of had these little James Bond kind of toys that we would play with. And one was a stink pen. And basically a stink pen was where you take one of the pens that would, you can pull apart. It's a ballpoint pen, and you put a piece of paper on one side, and then you take a stick match. And you use the spring with a bobby pin. You'd have to modify the bobby pin. But when you pull the bobby pin back, it would light just the sulfur, and it wouldn't light the rest of the match, and it would just put out the sulfur. And so you could open up a door and put it in there. Some people were in, and this little stink pen would go in there. Or you go into another room and you let the stink pen go when you knew people were coming into it. And so that was one of our things. Another thing we had was a fart maker. This was basically where you had a very stiff piece of wire, and then you put a hook on each end. There'd be an elastic band on both sides with a metallic washer. You'd wind up the washer, and then when you lift up your butt cheek, it's make a... And then this was the most ingenious one, was the match flipper. And basically what the match flipper was is you had a elastic band, you could turn the spring around on not a safety pin, but a clothespin, and this thing was great because you could stick a match in there, it'd light the match on fire, and then it'd throw the match. So I remember starting to feel that fire. A lady came out and yelled at us, and we thought, what's that bitch's problem, We started a bush on fire, but my last day with the match flippers, there was a kid in school, and I flipped the match, it landed on his polyester shirt, burned a big hole, and I felt so bad. I was just apologizing, but he was the shyest kid in the school. He's like, no, it doesn't matter, and I can't imagine what he told his parents when he got home. And then when I was a little older, I was probably about 13, and people lived in a rural or semi-rural area, the best thing to do is build forts. I mean, it wasn't about getting in the fort once it's done, but it was the building of the fort. So we were building we'd build all sorts of forts out of, grass and out of sticks, but we were building this cave, and I'm sure it was somebody's private property, but we decided to dig this cave in there anyway. And so we were digging away at the cave, and after school we'd be all excited to go down there and dig away at the cave. And one day I got there and after school, we dug up, and all of a sudden we found this treasure chest. And inside of the treasure chest were all these jewels. And I thought, wow, that is really wild, but something seemed a little bit fishy with that. And so I went home that night, I'm thinking, boy, that treasure chest kind of looked familiar. Turned out it was my sister's costume jewelry box, which is right here. Now, I don't know how I ended up with it, but I found it in my storage stuff. But anyway, and so my brother pulled the one on us. Then I got in high school, and I don't know, it was, kind of crazy times. People, I remember one time somebody threw a pipe bomb in the toilet and exploded the whole toilet. It was in the, but people weren't in there. It was unfortunately in between classes. But the coolest thing was there was a kid who'd been the president of the school in junior high, and the cops would go to chase people that were smoking behind this building. And so the cops went up there to chase this kid and give him a ticket. and he left the keys in the car. And how many times have you guys walked by a cop car and you thought, boy, I'd like to jump in that thing and go for a ride? Well, this kid did, and he took it.